Yesterday, President Trump's campaign insisted that 60 Minutes, CBS News, released an unedited transcript. They must release an unedited transcript of Vice President Kamala Harris's entire 60 Minutes interview. Now, this came after her word salad about Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu was cut from Monday's broadcast, and it looks as though it was a cut and paste job.
So what he's referring to there is Donald Trump, as well as many of us on Twitter had seen, they did something funky there with her broadcast. And Donald Trump put this out and put everybody on notice. I've never seen this before, but the producers of 60 Minutes sliced and diced, i.e. cut and paste, lying Kamala's answers to questions, which were virtually incoherent over and over again. Some by as many as 4 times in a single sentence or thought, all in an effort, possibly illegally, as part of the news division, which must be licensed to make her look more presidential, or at least better. It may also be a major campaign finance violation. This is a stain on the reputation of 60 Minutes that's not recoverable. It will always remain with this once storied brand. I have never heard of such a thing being done in the, quote, news. It is the very definition of fake news. The public is owed a major and immediate apology. This is an open and shut case that must be investigated starting today. It is now becoming quite apparent. The desperation is setting in with the left. The Democrat Party is in complete disarray. I can't even explain to you how bad it's getting at this point, but it's really bad. As I mentioned in my video yesterday, some things have happened. They're continuing to happen. And Kamala has had probably the worst 24 to 48 hours of any candidate ever. The View, Howard Stern, 60 Minutes, all of it is absolutely imploding on her campaign. And then even today, she's doing some sort of Zoom call with FEMA, talking about the hurricanes. And I don't know if you've seen it, but she had to I'm actually on the air right now. Can you guys not be talking to me? Because they were feeding her what to say, and she had to tell them to stop, and she didn't realize her microphone is on. It's getting real bad, and it's not just bad. It's desperation time for the left. It's delicious, but it's desperate. We all saw bits and pieces of the clips of the 60 Minutes piece. We all saw it. Then what ended up happening was 60 Minutes saw what was happening on X and quickly realized we need to do some damage control. Whether it was 60 Minutes or somebody saw it and he saw the immediate people descended and said, look at this crap. Look at what they're doing on 60 Minutes. Look how she acted. And so they went in and decided they were going to basically repackage the entire interview and put it out there as if she had a fluid, coherent thought. Unfortunately for them, too many people have seen it. And too many people who have access to, causing problems have seen what's going on with 60 Minutes, this once storied brand. It's ridiculous what they're doing, how much desperation is being shown right now.
The dramatic edit was made after 60 Minutes correspondent Bill Whitaker noted that it seems like Prime Minister Netanyahu is not listening. So her response to Monday Night Show was completely different and far more coherent than her rambling answer showcased in the preview clip that was released on Saturday. So we wrote to 60 Minutes. We gave them until 9 o'clock Eastern to respond. We said, we want to give you the benefit of the doubt. Maybe you edited the clip down for time, as often happens in these pre-taped interviews, but we looked into it for ourselves, and sure enough, the answer she originally gave and that CBS aired on Face the Nation doesn't match what made it into their final edit of 60 Minutes.
Now, if you've been on X, which I hope all of you are, go ahead and follow me. Get on X, Barry Cunningham on X. The clips were everywhere. And then later on in the day, a edited clip showed up, and people were like, they don't sound the same. They're completely different. Which, if you realize what they're doing, they're basically putting their thumb on the scale to help Kamala Harris, in effect making a campaign contribution, which is illegal if not disclosed. And now everybody has it. Everybody has a copy of the prior clips and the funny money clips where they've completely changed what she said. That's how desperate they are right now.
Wasn't due to time. Listen, here's her original answer.
Okay, so you've got to listen very closely here. And just to let you know, here's what CBS has done. They know that there's YouTubers like me out here who are clipping this stuff and showing it to you. And they said, listen, nobody can show our stuff. You're not allowed to. You're not a broadcast network. If you show our stuff, we're going to have YouTube bang you. So I've got to do it a different way. So you're really going to have to focus in on what she actually says here.
Does the U.S. have no sway over Prime Minister Netanyahu?
The aid that we have given Israel allowed Israel to defend itself against 200 ballistic missiles that were just meant to attack the Israelis and the people of Israel. And when we think about the threat that Hamas, Hezbollah presents, Iran, I think that it is without any question our imperative to do what we can to allow Israel to defend itself against those kinds of attacks. Now, the work that we do diplomatically with the leadership of Israel is an ongoing pursuit around making clear our principles, which include the need for humanitarian aid, the need for this war to end, the need for a deal to be done, which would release the hostages and create a ceasefire. And we're not going to stop in terms of putting that pressure on Israel and in the region, including Arab leaders.
But it seems that Prime Minister Netanyahu is not listening.
Well, Bill, the work that we have done has resulted in a number of movements in that region by Israel that were very much prompted by or a result of many things, including our advocacy for what needs to happen in the region.
What does that? Okay.
So you could hear that word salad. It made no sense. It had long, pregnant pauses, and she wasn't at all making relative sense to what she was saying. And we all looked at it and went, yeah, that was pretty stupid. And then, of course, they called the cleanup team into aisle 3 and said, we got to fix this. She looks completely insane.
Huh? Now, here's what it sounds like on air with their totally unbiased editing magic marker a day later.
Now, you are not going to hear a long pause. You're not going to hear that ending word salad. I want you to pay attention here so you can get an idea as to how much they cleaned up.
Does the U.S. have no sway over Prime Minister Netanyahu?
The work that we do diplomatically with the leadership of Israel is an ongoing pursuit around making clear our principles.
But it seems that Prime Minister Netanyahu is not listening.
We're not going to stop pursuing what...
You notice there's no pause whatsoever. It's like she was on it. You asked me a question, bam, I got the answer for you right away. I got it.
Is necessary for the United States to be clear about where we stand on the need for this war to end.
Do we have
that's
a
like
real
from a different part of the interview
ally in Prime Minister Netanyahu?
I think, with all due respect, the better question is
immediate answer. She didn't have that.
We have an important alliance between the American people and the Israeli people. And the answer to that question is yes.
Sound more coherent? Sound more certain? Sound more presidential? Yes. That answer, by the way, Stu is right, is from a different part of the interview.
So understand what he just said there. It's very important. It wasn't even the answer to the same flow of questions. They took a piece from another answer and stuck it in front of something else she said, so it sounded like it flowed. They completely cut and paste and butchered this thing to try and make her look intelligent when she's obviously not. That's a fraud.
Well, we asked 60 Minutes to explain their apparent in-kind contribution to the Harris campaign. We said, greetings. An ex-user noticed severe edits to VP Harris's answer to the 60 Minutes interview regarding Netanyahu from the time the clip aired on Face the Nation to the final export yesterday. And we attached both the edited and unedited. It doesn't appear to be edited for time, rather a cut and paste answer from a different question. Can you provide an explanation to the Glenn Beck program and Blaze News as to why this edit was made? There are claims of bias and selective edits to make Vice President Harris's answer appear more coherent. Our deadline is 9 a.m. Eastern tomorrow. We have not received, surprise, surprise, a response from CBS News. So are you getting anything that is real?
And the answer to that question is no. There is nothing real about the Kamala Harris campaign. It's in complete free fall. They are losing it. They understand right now, even with hurricanes in North Carolina and hurricanes here in Florida. By the way, I hope, pray to God that everything happens okay here. I'll talk to you about that in a second. But it's just amazing. They're trying to manufacture this candidate. She is truly the Manchurian candidate. There's nothing real about her. Now, I don't know if you know this, but there's obviously some information that Trump has that we don't have, obviously. Maybe he'll talk about it today when he hits the stage in about 15 minutes, keeping an eye on it. But I'm not sure if you know this. Breaking news if you don't. This is absolutely huge. Trump is making a huge statement. You know what that is? That's a MAGA hat sitting on top of Madison Square Garden in New York City. Donald Trump has decided the final rally of the season will be October 27th, just before the election, in none other than New York City. He's going to do a rally in Madison Square Garden. He is walking into the belly of the beast and saying, I'm throwing it down here. Do his numbers show him that he can possibly win New York? Can you even imagine? I mean, we've seen him do in the Bronx, and we've seen him, basically draw a lot of people in Jersey. Now he's going into Madison Square Garden, something I talked about months ago. Many of you have watched my videos. I said Trump needs to go into either Yankee Stadium or Madison Square Garden and do a rally. Go right in there. Go into the heart of it. So now, understand, he announced a rally in Coachella, California, at that big ranch. So he's going into California and New York now. And just to let you know, his other rally, which is in Aurora, Colorado, deep blue Aurora, Colorado, it's sold out. When you look on his event page, there's not many events that sell out. In fact, I don't recall ever there being, even the Butler return, as long as you wanted to get in, you're going to get a seat. Somehow they get you in, and then, of course, if you're on the outside, there's people going to be there. They're telling people, Aurora, don't come. That's it. We're done. Every single seat, every single place somebody can stand in Aurora, Colorado is sold out. It's over. Kamala's done. Absent them steering a hurricane or something, who knows? They're done. I could look stupid in a month. I'm sure you'll probably remind me, but I'm telling you right now, it's effectively over. And it's effectively over, and they know it's effectively over, which is why the desperation is setting in. It is obvious to me at this point, 100% obvious, the reason why they need to get rid of Elon Musk is because they need to get rid of X, because the media, their toaster, more toast, burnt toast, than Kamala is. Nobody trusts the media anymore. Nobody. You'd have to be an absolute fool. Maybe there's some libnuts that do, but you can't trust the media. You can't trust these 4, 5, 6 stations that are going to get on there and tell you what you should know, what you should hear, when you can go on X and hear everything. It's amazing to me. So many of you have taken my advice and went on to X, and I get message after email after message after email going, I never knew this stuff was out here. I never knew this information was even here. And now the trash on CNN and MSNBC is so bad, they can't even contain themselves. I want you to listen to this idiot woman who CNN allowed to go on, I think it's like 2 of their shows, and just make the most vilest comments that you could possibly imagine. And they let her say it. Not once, but twice.
Is that we have long known that Donald Trump has revered the Nazis. He has revered Hitler. He's read his book. He used to say he had it on his nightstand. Donald Trump has had a...
I think the anchor on CNN, the guy in the middle, realizes, what the hell did I just do? How did I bring this woman on? Who booked her? Who told you guys this woman could come on my show? How did we let this ignorant woman come on my show?
Very sinister philosophy, wanting to be a dictator.
And you have to imagine the intelligence level, the IQ of the people who watch this drivel.
Absolutely dividing people up based on who they are, based on factors about them that have to do with their race and their gender, etc. And when he uses language like this, I don't think that it's a Freudian slip.
What language? This is obviously no one who's ever listened to him talk and is just going by hearsay from other nuts. Complete other nuts. When has he ever said... Well, let me just put it this way. Her closing statement here, you tell me if you ever heard Donald Trump say what she's about to say.
I think that the danger of a Donald Trump is that he would absolutely try to exterminate an entire group of people because he thinks that their genes are somehow different than his and faulty. And I say this with all the sternness that you hear in my voice.
I was trying to freeze it at that point so you could look at the guy from CNN who had this look on his face like, what is this crazy woman saying? Why did you put her on my show? What is wrong with these people? You can almost begin to see some Democrats and left-leaning people who aren't completely nuts beginning to see the nuts. And they're like, hey man, you people are gone. The elevator has flown through the roof and out the top of the building. There's no stopping these nuts. Let's continue with what she has to say here, because now she's on a different show.
This, as an American,
let's talk about Kamala Harris.
Makes me really concerned.
Let's talk about Kamala Harris.
As a black lesbian who Donald Trump doesn't believe has genes as good as his.
Same woman on another CNN show. CNN anchor again going, what are they being forced to put these people on air? I mean, at this point, we have to wonder, are you being forced to put these idiots on television? Because you make no sense whatsoever.
Is he going to attempt to exterminate me
why do you
when
believe
he gets
that,
elected? Because he's damn near said it. That's why, David. That's why.
He's damn near said it. How do you get to damn near saying something? I just wonder. How do you measure damn near saying that I want to basically exterminate lesbians? How do you get near that? Does it come to the point where it's like, hey, I'd like to X, those how do you get close to damn near saying it? I've never heard that's like being a little bit pregnant. How do you tell me? You tell me how you spew this stuff on television, and then you wonder why your ratings are in the toilet? That's pretty easy to see.
Because
and I'm not going to be lectured by some white man who has no idea what he's talking about and is trying to...
She actually said that on CNN. And the anchor just stood there. Look at her. Aaron Burnett. Aaron, you just heard one of the most racist things I've ever heard on a television show. And you're talking about Trump being the bad guy, and the woman on your show just said, I am not going to be talked to this way by no white man. Seriously? Buckle up, because what's going to happen after November 5th is going to be really bad.
Rewrite history here.
Aisha, shame on you, Aisha.
As an American,
Aaron.
of a Donald Trump presidency and his actual quotes
Shame
are
on you,
why.
Aisha.
Because I take him seriously, and I think that he believes what he says, and that is why he is a danger and a threat to America.
Aaron, you can't have a
All right, let me
rational
just say,
discussion.
I
Somebody doesn't
appreciate-
want to talk
okay.
about topics.
Desperation has set in. They've got nothing. And at this point, they're just lashing out, just trying to see what they can do to make people angry, to get you pissed off. Don't take the bite. Don't take the bite of the apple. Let them go ahead and fester and with their boils and everything on their own. Let them wallow in their stench. They know it's over. So now it's just intensifying the rhetoric, intensifying whatever they can do to get you to say something, get you to do something. That guy who, she called that name, if he had said the same thing back to her, they'd be walking down the streets of Atlanta with signs right now. They can say anything they want. Everything they want. They can say he's out here going to exterminate people. They can say he don't like people that look like him. They can say he damn near said it, which is impossible. You either do or you don't. They can say whatever they want. They're going to do whatever they want. Y'all just need to be ready, because now we're in that home stretch, and it's basically in the fourth quarter with about a minute and a half left in the game, and they're going to try everything. Trump knows it. Put it this way, if you think, Barry, you're being a little bit hyperbolic. No. You just watched one of the longest running television shows in television history bend over and take it backwards to make Kamala Harris look good. Just think for yourself how bad that is. That entire organization of CBS and then CBS News and all the people involved, someone pushed the button and said, fix it. What do you mean, fix it? Fix it. Well, there's no fixing it. She said it. Cut and paste, do whatever you need to do. Then we're no longer the media. We're just an operative of the Democrat Party. I don't care. You want a paycheck? Do it. When 60 Minutes will reduce themselves that low, then they're desperate.